We help parents raise their kids to be Christ followers. I'm Pastor Dwayne, and today's topic is dealing with the rise of the sin nature through training. This is one of the major tenets of the Christian faith. We are all born into sin. Romans 3:23 says, all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. You will never see this more clearly or have to deal with it more closely than when you begin the journey of dealing with the sin of your precious little sinner. It's one thing to have the right beliefs as a Christian. It's another thing to apply them to real life. When your child starts pitching fits and telling you no, you need to be able to apply biblical teaching to the way you think as a parent. You need a process to get them from where they are, one born into sin, to the biblical command in Ephesians 6:1 for children to obey their parents. If anyone is going to bridge that gap, it's you. Another important verse in Scripture comes from Proverbs 22:6 that commands parents to train up a child in the way he should go. Notice that the Scripture doesn't say discipline a child in the way he should go or just let the child figure out obedience themselves. The Scripture says to train them. Training is the biblical way to go from a child being controlled by their sin to a child having self-control. Remember, there are a lot of ways that culture uses that may work, but those methods often cause long-term consequences. But more importantly, as Christian parents, we are living the life of faith. We are trusting God and His methods and leaving it up to Him to produce the results. So, we train our children. And we train our children before we discipline them. Once you train a child to obey a command, you must be prepared to discipline them to maintain the training. Training and discipline do go hand in hand, but training is always first. Training can actually be an enjoyable process for both parent and child. Training isn't done while disobedience is occurring. It shouldn't seem like a punishment or like discipline. It should be full of encouragement and even fun. It should ensure that the child grasps what is expected of them. They won't be able to understand why yet. Right now, they should simply comply with what you want from them. Chapter 8 of Family Vision outlines the entire process for how to train your child. When you read it, I want to encourage you to go ahead and read through chapter 10, the chapter on discipline as well. You should be prepared for both training and disciplining when you start this process. In August and in January of the year, there are opportunities for you to join small groups. In these groups, you'll find support, encouragement, and insight into the training process. Get involved with the group before all this starts to be ready for that little sinner that's about to show up at your house. God uses your desire to raise your kid right to get to your heart. Thanks for listening to me. Now, take a moment and let Him speak to you.